Hello all. Our today's topic is text mining. So we'll cover topic like what is text mining, types of data, text mining hierarchy, what are the various steps that we perform in text mining, and techniques and application of text mining. So first of all, starting with what is text mining. So text mining is the discovery by computer of new previously unknown information by automatically extracting information from different written sources. So we have various written sources like we have emails, we have articles, we have blog post, and then we have various web pages. So we are having this different written resources from where we are getting input for this text mining, and we perform apply this text mining techniques on this data, and we find some hidden information or previously unknown information, or some discover some patterns in them, right? So this is what text mining is. So the main goal here is to discover unknown information, right? And this is just like data mining, but here we are trying to find interesting patterns from large databases. So the difference between text mining and data mining, we can say, is uh, data mining takes structured data as input, whereas text mining takes unstructured data as input. Now, what are the structured and unstructured data that we will see in next slide? So, just for now, the patterns that we are extracting from this text mining or from this text data are this natural language text, right? And we are applying technique on this natural language text, and then we are finding this pattern. Okay, so this is what text mining is. Now coming to types of data. So we have various types of data as listed here. So basically we have structured, unstructured and semi-structured data. Unstructured data is where you have specific format for of data, like you have stored customer information in a table where you have customer ID, name, address, etc. So this is a structured data. Unstructured data is where you don't have any specific format for organizing your data. So for example, you have image file, video file, audio file, social media data, right? So all this kind of data are unstructured data. And third kind is semi-structured data. Now, semi-structured data is blend of structured and unstructured data. So it is containing both, some data is in form and some are not formatted. So what kind of data comes into this category? So we have this HTML, JSON and XML files, right? So all are this good example of semi-structured data. Now why we are studying this data? Just because text mining is processing this unstructured data, right? So it is taking this unstructured data as input, and then we are applying text mining techniques, and then we are finding this in useful information or pattern in them, right? So 80% of total world's data resides in unstructured format, right? And look at this opportunity for applying this technique text mining on this 80% of data, right? So text mining, we can say, it is extremely valuable for organizations, and that's why we are learning this text mining. Now this diagram shows the text mining hierarchy. So in this triangle, at all this thing that you are seeing here are functions of a text mining. So at the top of this triangle we have keyword, term association, similarity search, then classification and clustering, and finally we have this natural language processing, which is called as NLP. Now all are these functions of text mining. So we are performing all, we are having all these techniques, and based on our data we are applying some or few techniques on our data, right? So as we go from top to bottom, the complexity of these functions increases. So we can say keyword function having less complexity, and natural language processing is more complex function. Okay, now what are the various steps that we perform in text mining? So first of all, we need to have the data, right? So we are gathering data from multiple sources that I have mentioned, like web pages, blogs, articles, social media, emails, right? So we are gathering data from all these multiple sources. That is the very first step. And then we are pre-processing the data. That means we are cleaning up the data, so not all data is relevant and uh, needed for our analysis, and hence we are taking only relevant data from this various resources and do the analysis. Okay, now we are doing pre-processing using this text mining tools. And the third step is convert all this unstructured data into structured data. So we want to apply techniques on them, data mining techniques or text mining techniques. So we need to convert this unstructured data into structured data, right? So we are performing this conversion in the third step. And then fourth step, we are applying this classic data mining procedure like clustering classification on this structured data and find hidden patterns or unknown, previously unknown information. Okay, and then fifth step I forgot to mention here. Fifth step is once you have that analysis with you, then sorry, result of this algorithm with you, then you analyze those results, right? You analyze those output, and you are evaluating the result, right? So what you can find from this data, what is the hidden pattern, right? What is the hidden in previously unknown information that you are getting from this output, right? So you are evaluating result of applying those data mining techniques on those data, right? So this is how you perform text mining. And then we will see this text mining techniques. Okay, now how we are doing this actually, right? So first thing, information retrieval. So we need to retrieve the information. So only relevant information or documents based on a predefined set of queries or phrases are returned in this process. So best example of is this is Google search. So whatever we type in Google, it retrieves only related document to that search, right? So this is what information retrieval. Now, what are the common tasks of this information retrieval? So first we have this tokenization. Now, what is tokenization? So we are applying tokens or word, right? We are having this word and we call it as a token. So we are actually using this bag of words algorithm in tokenization. Now what is this bag of words? So whatever document you have as input, you are taking that document and then you are uh, finding bag of words, right? What are the various words in that document and what is the frequency of that words? So for example, I have shown here example like you have suppose document X. Now you want to, you applied bag of words algorithm in that. So basically you found what are the various words in that document X. So here we have people of the and nation, and then we apply frequency of that word. So for example, people occurred one time in document X. So one is written over here and likewise. Okay. So this is how we apply this. Uh, we count the uh, occurrence of each word in documents, right? And then we have the stemming, right? Stemming is what? It is just a process of producing morphological variants of a root or base word, right? So what is the root word that we will find for all the variants of that word? So for example, if we have chocolates, chocolatey and choco, right? So we can deduce that all these variants are coming from a stem or root word, which is chocolate. Okay. So we will identify what is the root word of all these things. right? Now, why we are doing this stemming? It's just because it helps to reduce the size of indexing files. So when you are driving documents based on search, right, then you are actually indexing all this document, and you are finding relevant documents based on this indexing, right? So it just helps us to reduce our indexing file, right? So this is what information retrieval. Next, we have this NLP, natural language processing. Natural language processing is the automatic manipulation of natural language like speech and text by software. So we apply software on this natural language document, right? Suppose you have a call history with the customer, then you apply this software in order to find this text in that, right? So it evolved from this computational linguistics. It uses methods from various disciplines such as computer science, artificial intelligence, linguistics, and data science. And it enables computers to understand human language in both written and verbal form. So, as I told you, the information could be in a verbal form, like customer is calling customer care service, right? And having this verbal communication, or it can be written like customer is giving review of a product, right? So anything. So this kind of human language data, which is either written or in verbal form, it is taken as input, and then we are applying this NLP, natural language processing, on this kind of data. Okay, now by analyzing this sentence structure and grammar, NLP subtasks allow computers to read, right? So we need to analyze what are the sentence structure and what are the grammar involved in this, all this information, right? All this written and verbal forms, right? And then NLP subtask allows computer to read all this thing. So subtasks that are included in NLP are summarization. So summarization is nothing but shortening long pieces of text, right? So basically any kind of summary that we provide in any document, it is similar to that. So basically it provides coherency and fluency, right? And fetches only main part or heart of the document, right? So that we are doing here in summarization. And then we have this part of speech tagging. POS, it is called as POS tagging. So POS tagging is what we are dividing every document into part of speech tagging, right? So for example, you have input as a this sentence, everything to permit us. You have this sentence as input. Now, after applying this POS tagging, the output will become everything comes under NN tagging. So, what is NN tagging? Tagging, it is noun singular. So, everything here is a noun. So, it is applied to tag NN. And then to. So, to is applied to TO tag. So, TO is what? It is infinite marker. Okay. Then permit is a verb. So, it is applied to VB tagging, right? And then us is what? Personal preposition. So, it is applied to PRP tagging, right? So, this is how we apply each and every word a tag, right? So this tag is nothing but part of speech. So this is what part of speech, and this is required to analyze the semantic of a sentence and for group similar sentences or words, right? So this is important. And then we have this text categorization. So text categorization is the process of categorizing text data into organized group. So it is also called as classification. So you are classifying your data based on tag that you are giving, right? So for example, you have a product data to classify. So your first step is you import this data, and then next step is you want to define what are the tags related to this, right? So suppose you have tags like electronics, computers, cell phones, right, clothing. So all this comes under the product tag, right? And then next step is you categorize each and every sentence or each and every word of the document into this kind of tags, right? So you are classifying which text belongs to which tag, right? So based on your defined tag, you are classifying this text. Okay. So this is what categorizing or classifying the text. Now, next is sentiment analysis. So, sentiment analysis is a technique which is used to determine whether data is positive, it is negative, or it is neutral, right? So, why we want this? Why we want to identify whether data is positive, negative, or neutral? So, basically, this helps in business, right? Where if businesses want feedback from the customer how their product is doing in the market, right? So based on the customer reviews, based on whatever customer return, based on that they do this analysis, sentiment analysis, in order to identify what are the sentiments related to the product for a particular customer, right? So, very good example is here given here. So, this is a positive sentiment. So, sentence or review of a customer could be like, "My experience so far has been fantastic," right? So, this comes under positive sentiment, right? Then we have neutral sentiment like a product is okay, I guess. And then we have this negative sentiment where your support team is useless, right? So based on this different sentiments, based on the review of customer, we are applying this sentiment analysis in order to identify whether review was positive, negative, or neutral, right? And this will help businesses to monitor their brand and product, find out what are the customer sentiments about the product. Okay, so this is NLP subtask. Next technique is information extraction. Now, information extraction, we are actually extracting information from this text, right? So, as not all data is relevant and applicable for our analysis purpose, so we are extracting or we are selecting those features, those data, those text which are relevant and which are useful for our analysis, right? So commonly we have this three subtasks in information extraction. First is feature selection. A feature selection is what? Selecting only few features that are needed for our analysis, right? So it is very straightforward. So suppose you have 10 features or raw data, right? So you have raw data and you are selecting only few features in them, right? So out of suppose 100 you are selecting 50, right? So 50 is needed for your analysis. So this is what feature selection. Second is feature extraction. Now, feature extraction is somewhat different than feature selection. In feature extraction, we are transforming this raw data into the data which is needed as input in machine learning or any algorithm, right? So, what kind of data is needed as input in our algorithm, right? So, we are actually transforming those raw data into that kind of data, right? So, that is what feature extraction, okay? So feature extraction includes this transforming data or combining data, right? And so primarily we are having this new data set with us when we are doing this, right? So that is feature extraction. And third is named entity recognition. So we are having entities and we are applying name to each and every entity in order to recognize them. So we have this third extraction technique, which is named entity recognition. And this diagram shows what how feature selection and extraction works. So you can see here in a feature selection you have this many features, right? And out of this you are selecting only this feature, right? So cross mark feature you are not selecting, right? And feature extraction, you are having this raw data and then you are transforming them into this data, and then again combining some data and then having this data, and then again combining or doing transformation, and then finally you have this feature extraction from this raw data, right? So this is how feature selection and extraction works. Okay, now next and final technique is data mining. So obviously we want to perform algorithms like classification, clustering onto this data which we have which pre-processed, right? So we are applying a data mining techniques on this both structured and non-structured data or unstructured data to identify new information, and it is commonly utilized to analyze consumer behaviors within marketing and sales, right? So basically we are doing this in order to analyze consumer behavior and what are the marketing trends and sales trends, right? And now text mining applications. So we have this various application of where we can apply this text mining. So first is customer service. So this is a very common application of text mining. So as I told you earlier, any business would like to analyze how they are customer what are the customer sentiments about a product, right? So how they can improve their marketing, their sales, right? So in order to know all these things, they need to understand uh, what customer says about their product, right? So customer service enhanced by using this text mining application, right? So this is first customer service, and then text mining can be applied for risk management. So normally in any finance companies, it is important to analyze any risk, right, before it happens, right? So uh, text mining techniques are very important in this kind of company, right? Finance company, insurance company, in order to identify claims of customers, right? And identify risk involved in them, and then mitigate any risk, right? So this is the second application of text mining. And then third is maintenance. So maintenance, we can have regular maintenance of a product, how we can maintain our product. So we can have text mining application applied on this various product related data, and then maintain the branding of this products, various products. So we can apply this text mining on that. And then healthcare, so various biomedical applications are there where we can apply this text mining. So it is extremely important where we have this textual data uh, for this medical record, right? And then reading all this data manually and doing research on that, it is very time consuming, and text mining is applicable at that time. So it helps to get the accurate data efficiently and in timely manner, right? So it is very speedily compared to doing that in manual way, right? So healthcare is one of the area where we can apply this text mining. Okay, and then spam filtering. So we know we have the spam messages and regular messages in our email. So we always want to avoid this spam messages, right? So text mining can be applicable there, where we are filtering spam messages from the regular ones by identifying or applying text mining techniques on various kinds of data, and then filter out the spam data. Okay, so these are some of the application, not limited to this only. It has many more scope on various industries. So only few areas I have mentioned here. So this is where you can apply text mining applications. Thank you.